Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know it is the middle of March, but I want to do a super late February reading wrap up. Towards the end of February I was out of town moving my in-laws across the country, and I've just now had the time to sit down and film. If you like this kind of content, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel and that you give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment down below. I definitely want to know what books you read during February. I'm always looking for recommendations. During February, I read 5 books. The first book that I finished in February was Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. I read this partially in paperback, but mostly on my Kindle. My Kindle is very convenient for me to take to work and to be able to just have with me anywhere that I'm going. The third Harry Potter book is my favorite book in the entire series. I think it's because it's before people start dying and things get dark. It's still just like a fun magical world before things get really, really serious. But then things get pretty serious. Sirius Black, you know what I mean? In the sense of adventure with the time traveling, Professor Lupin is my favorite character in the Harry Potter series. I love Lupin. So much, and I love him in the movies. I just feel like he's such a wholesome character, even though he has this huge flaw of being a werewolf. He's still one of the most kind, genuine, passionate characters that J.R.R. Rowling has written. After that, I listened to an audiobook while I was working, and that book was The Invisible Man by H.G. Wells. Kind of a weird book. It was a little weird. A very interesting concept, early sci-fi. I'll look up who the narrator was for the version of the book that I listened to, and I'll link that down below. I'm sorry, I don't already have that. It was pretty good, classic literature. H.G. Wells has a very interesting writing style, and it's nice to be able to hear it out loud instead of just reading it yourself. The third book that I read in February was Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I read this one all on my Kindle. I think I read a little bit in the book and then I just transferred over to my Kindle. I'm also slowly going blind, and so being able to have a bigger font is helpful for me on my Kindle. Oh, I'm 25 and old. As always, I loved it. I always love Harry Potter, and I will continue to love Harry Potter. The fourth book I read was my first book of the month club book, and that book is The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chokshi. I do have a full review of this, which I will link right here and down below if you'd like to check that out. It's a review slash reading vlog, and I give more of my thoughts on it there. I thought this was very interesting, historical, magical realism. A second book has been announced, and I hope to get that one because I want to see how it continues. The characters were very interesting and very diverse, and I really enjoyed that. The one problem I had with it is I felt like the magic system wasn't explained very well, and so sometimes when it was in use, I wasn't understanding how or why it had come to be or how someone had come to possess that power. So hopefully that's explained more in the second book. And the last book that I read during February was The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I read the first 50 pages of it or so, and then I started listening to the audiobook, which is free with Kindle Unlimited, by the way, and then I just listened to it while I was working in the mornings and in the car a little bit. And the narrator's name is Rob Inglis, and he is the best narrator that I've ever listened to. He really brought the book to life before my eyes as I was putting things on shelves and organizing and cleaning and stocking and moving our shipment around. He did different voices for each character. Each bit of dialogue had its own inflections that were entirely unique. He sang all of the songs with gusto. The voice of Smaug just brought the dragon to life. It was amazing. And luckily, Mr. Inglis narrates the entire series, so I am listening to his narration of The Fellowship of the Ring. Because the Lord of the Rings books are pretty dense, I am really enjoying having someone else read it to me, and then I can be also doing other things while I'm listening to it. And that's it for the books that I read during February. Out of the 5 books that I read, 3 were new, so that takes 3 books off my to-be-read list, which has already grown since the video I made about it. I'll link that video here. It's already out of date. I'm currently reading The Order of the Phoenix. I'm about halfway through that one. I'm listening to The Fellowship of the Ring, also about halfway through that one. I started reading the God of War book that I mentioned in my to-be-read video, and I got bored like 10 pages into it, so I've set that aside. One of my friends from work, Tucker, recommended the book Blue Bloods to me, and that arrived today, so I'm just starting this one. You'll probably be seeing that in a couple weeks. Hopefully I get a little bit more on top of it with my uploading. I thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, please make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Reading Rainbow!